They can't control what they don't understand, and they've tried to make you believe you are something you're not. Do you feel that weight pressing on you? The weight of expectations, the weight of labels, the weight of their lies? They don't understand you. They don't understand the fire inside you, the depth of your potential, the complexity of your soul, and they don't want to. It's easier for them to keep you in the dark, to make you feel small, to make you think you're less than you are, because that keeps you under control. They've told you who you are, who you're supposed to be, and you've started to believe it, haven't you? They've made you believe you're not strong enough, not capable enough, not worthy of more. They've built walls around your dreams, wrapped chains around your hopes, and they call it reality. They've whispered in your ear that you're a product of your circumstances, a result of what they've told you, and you've swallowed it all. But you know, deep down, you can feel it, that what they say, what they expect, doesn't define you. You are not what they tell you. This is not just a speech, this is your call to arms. The truth is, everything you've been told to believe, everything you've been made to feel is a lie. They've kept you in the shadows, manipulated your thoughts, twisted your worth, and for what? Because they fear you. They fear what they can't control, and they will try to keep you in the dark for as long as they can, but that's where their power ends. The moment you see the truth, the moment you realize what they've been hiding from you, their grip slips. This is not a moment to sit back and listen quietly. No, this is the moment when you rise. They've kept you confined in a cage built of their misunderstanding. They see you only through the lens of their own limited vision, their own fears, their own insecurities. They've decided who you are based on what they've seen, what they can grasp, what they can understand. But that's not who you are. That's not even close. You've been pushed into a corner, labeled, boxed in, but you're not a product of their ignorance. No, you are the spark they've tried to suffocate. You are the wildness they cannot contain, and they don't understand it. This moment, right now, is the beginning of an awakening, not just for you, but for everyone who has ever believed their truth was dictated by the world around them. It's the beginning of seeing through the fog of confusion they've laid before you. This is the moment when you break free. It's time to stand tall and recognize that the world doesn't get to tell you who you are. The systems, the people, the voices, they can't control you. They don't understand what they're trying to control, and that's where their power falters. You've been kept in the dark because they feared what you could do if you saw the truth. But you're starting to see it, aren't you? You're starting to feel it. The weight of their lies, the weight of their manipulation, the weight of everything that's been holding you back. Let's tear down those walls. Let's shatter that illusion. You are more than what they see. You are more than what they want you to believe. And when you realize that, when you finally understand the truth of who you are, their power over you crumbles. They can't control what they don't understand, and they don't understand you. So this is your moment. This is your awakening. Stand up and claim what is yours. It's time to rise. You've felt it, haven't you? That constant pressure, like the weight of the world is pushing down on you from all sides. Every time you try to stand tall, there's something or someone reminding you that you don't belong. Maybe it's a voice in your head that echoes doubt after doubt. You're not good enough. You're too much. You're not enough. Who do you think you are? It comes from the outside, too. Those expectations that others have placed on you, the toxic norms they've woven into your life, shaping who you should be, how you should act, what you should become. You're supposed to fit into neat little boxes that make sense to everyone else. You're supposed to shrink, to conform, to mold yourself into the image of what the world finds acceptable. And every time you try to break free, you feel like you're being dragged back down, smothered by the weight of their judgments. They want you to fit. They want you to be a product of their rules, their expectations, their narrow vision of what is worthy, what is successful. But you can feel it in the pit of your stomach, this suffocating ache that reminds you that you're not meant to shrink. You're not meant to hide away. Your soul yearns for something more. They has always yearned for more, but they can't see that. They never understood it. They never understood the fire inside you, the part of you that refuses to stay in the dark corners they've assigned you to. So they put pressure on you. They try to define you, box you in, stifle your spirit. And when they do, the pain is almost unbearable. It feels like you're suffocating, drowning in a sea of expectations, of judgment, of confusion. Every step you take forward is met with resistance, whether it's internal or external. You try to walk your path, but it feels like you're constantly being told you're doing it wrong. You're too loud, you're too bold, you're too different, you're too much. Why can't you just be normal? They ask. But what they fail to see, what they refuse to understand is that you're not here to be normal. You're not here to conform. You're not here to fit into the tiny boxes they've created. You are here to break them, to shatter them, to live your truth no matter how uncomfortable it makes others. This isn't just a matter of society's expectations. This is about you, about the deepest parts of you that are constantly fighting to stay alive. It's about that inner voice that tells you you were made for something more, but every time you try to listen to it, the doubts creep in. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if they were right all along? These doubts have been planted in you since you were young, by teachers, parents, friends, strangers, people who didn't understand you, who didn't understand the power that runs through your veins, people who tried to hold you back, not out of malice, but because they themselves were trapped in a world of misunderstanding. The real villain here? It's not the people who have doubted you, not the voices that have told you that you aren't enough. The true villain is the system, the broken structures that demand conformity, the expectations that force you to hide your brilliance, to silence your voice, to dim your light so it doesn't shine too bright. It's the destructive self-doubt that you've carried with you for years, the constant whisper that tells you that you're not worthy, that you're not cut out for greatness. It's the fear of failure that paralyzes you every time you consider stepping into your power. And it's the oppressive systems, the ones that benefit from your silence, your submission, your fear. They thrive on the misunderstanding of your potential. They thrive on the lie that you are weak, broken, incapable of changing the world. These forces, whether they come from within or without, have created a fog around your mind, a fog that makes it hard to see clearly, a fog that clouds your judgment, that makes you question everything about yourself, your worth, your purpose. You start to lose sight of who you really are. You start to wonder if all of your dreams were just fantasies. Silly little illusions that will never come true. They feed off this fog. They want you to stay confused, to stay lost, to keep doubting yourself, so that they can keep you right where they want you. They need you to be uncertain, to question your every move, so that they can continue to control you. But there's something deep inside you, something raw, something primal, that refuses to let them win. You can feel it, can't you? That pulse beneath the fog, the flicker of truth that says, I am not what they say I am. I am more than they could ever imagine. But you've been taught to ignore it, to silence it, to conform. And every time you do, every time you try to push it aside, you feel a little more of your soul slip away. But that's not the end of the story, is it? You've felt that frustration, that pain. You felt the weight of their ignorance, their misunderstanding. But now, you also feel the stirrings of something else, the stirrings of defiance, of resilience, of the understanding that you are not a victim. You are not someone who is meant to shrink, to fit into their little boxes, to live a life dictated by forces that cannot even begin to comprehend the complexity of your being. You are meant to rise, you are meant to break free. And once you realize that, once you begin to see the truth behind the fog, you will understand that all of this pain, all of this doubt, all of this confusion has been a prison, one that you have the key to unlock. And when you do, there will be nothing left to hold you back. Because when you finally recognize your worth, your strength, your power, they won't be able to control you anymore. They never understood you, but you do, and that's where your true power lies. You're on the edge, aren't you? You've seen the abyss, felt its cold breath on your neck, whispered by the winds of doubt, the sharp sting of rejection, the crushing weight of failure. You've been standing at the precipice, staring down at what feels like an endless fall, questioning if it's even worth trying to climb back up. Everything you've worked for, everything you've fought for, it all seems so fragile now, as if a single gust of wind will shatter it. You wonder if you have the strength left to even make the attempt. And maybe, just maybe, you've asked yourself the question you never thought you would. What if I give up? It's so easy to go there, isn't it? To lean into that darkness, to let the world's weight pull you deeper, deeper into the pit of despair. You're tired, so tired. Exhausted by the endless battle, by the constant fight against forces you can't even name. The world, the people, they don't see you, they don't understand you, and that's the hardest part of it all, isn't it? The loneliness, the feeling that you're walking through this storm by yourself, that no one truly gets it, no one truly gets you. And with every step you take, that loneliness echoes louder, louder, until it drowns out every ounce of hope you once had. There's a paralyzing sense of self-doubt that wraps around you like a suffocating cloak. You don't know what happened to the person who used to dream big. Where did they go? Where's the fire you once felt, the drive that had you waking up each day, eager to conquer the world? All of it seems so far away now, buried beneath the weight of the world's judgment and your own crippling fears. You think back to all the times you tried to rise, tried to be seen, tried to make something of yourself, and all you got in return were 1,000 failures, 1,000 rejections, 1,000 voices that told you it wasn't enough. And you start to believe them, don't you? You begin to internalize those whispers, those doubts. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You'll never make it. The pain of rejection is its own kind of death. Every time you reach out, every time you pour yourself into something only to be met with dismissal, silence, or worse, indifference, it chips away at you. You want to scream, you want to shout out that you're here, that you matter, that you're worthy of being heard, but no one seems to notice. No one seems to care. It's like you're invisible, lost in the crowd, overshadowed by the noise of a world that has already decided you've been overlooked, ignored, misunderstood. And in those moments, when everything feels like it's slipping away, the voice of self-doubt gets louder, more convincing. You can't do this. You're not meant for this. You're not worthy of success, not worthy of happiness, not worthy of any of it. Every negative word that's been said to you, every harsh judgment, every moment of failure, it all starts to weave together into this thick, suffocating fog that makes it impossible to see anything but the darkness. You begin to believe the lies they've told you. You begin to believe that the world is right, that you are nothing more than the sum of your mistakes, the weight of your flaws, the echoes of your past failures. But it doesn't end there, does it? There's a deeper, more insidious part of this despair, the feeling of helplessness, the realization that no matter how hard you try, no matter how much energy you pour into your dreams, it's never enough. It's like running on a treadmill. Every step you take feels like progress, but when you look up, you realize you're still stuck in the same place. You push yourself harder, you try harder, but all that effort just feels futile. What's the point? You've tried to prove yourself over and over again, and it feels like you keep hitting a wall. And with each new rejection, each new failure, that wall gets higher, thicker, and harder to break through. You're starting to wonder if it's even worth it. You're tired of fighting, tired of waiting, tired of doing everything you can and still feeling like it's not enough. You're questioning everything now, your worth, your dreams, your place in this world. You look around at those who've made it and wonder, why not me? What's wrong with me? But even here, in the deepest part of this despair, there's a flicker of something you can't quite explain. It's small, almost imperceptible, but it's there. It's the tiniest spark, the faintest whisper that says, this isn't the end. Because no matter how dark it gets, there is always something inside you that refuses to give up. There is a part of you that knows this is not the final chapter. It can't be. It doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down, how many times you've been made to feel insignificant. The truth is, this moment, this pain, this despair, this overwhelming sense of defeat is not who you are. It's just a place you're passing through. It's hard to see it right now. It's hard to feel anything but the weight of everything dragging you under. But deep down, you know the truth. This is not the end. You have more inside you than you realize. And while you may feel trapped in this moment of darkness, know this: the very fact that you feel this pain means you are alive. You are still here, still fighting, still breathing. That means there is still something worth fighting for. There is still hope, just beyond the reach of your pain, just on the other side of this darkness. So don't give in to this moment. Don't let it define you. Because the story isn't over yet. You are not finished yet. This despair, this weight you feel, it is the moment right before the breakthrough. It's the moment before you see the truth of who you really are, the strength that's always been inside you. It's the moment before everything changes. And you will rise from this. You have to, because there's more for you. There's always more. And when you finally see it, when you look back at this darkness, you'll realize it was never the end. It was just the beginning. Even now, as the weight of despair feels unbearable, there is something inside you, something untouchable, something eternal that refuses to die. It's there, buried beneath the rubble of doubt, beneath the layers of rejection, beneath the darkness that has tried to claim you. But they can't touch it. They can't extinguish it. They don't even know how to recognize it because it's not something they understand. There's a fire inside you, a fire that no amount of failure, no rejection, no darkness can ever truly extinguish. It may flicker, it may dim, but it will never go out. It's that spark that keeps you going even when you don't know why. It's the part of you that refuses to let the world define you, to let the weight of their misunderstanding bury you alive. This fire, this inner strength, has always been with you. It's been waiting for you to recognize it. Think of it like a seed buried deep in the dark earth. In the stillness, it may seem insignificant, lost in the suffocating darkness, surrounded by uncertainty. But that seed knows. It knows that it is meant for something greater. It knows that the darkness is not its end. It is merely the place of transformation, the place where it will gather its strength and break through. The soil is heavy, the pressure is immense, but the seed does not shrink from it. It grows, it pushes, it rises, and eventually, it reaches the light. You are that seed, the The light is waiting for you. It's always been there, just on the other side of this struggle, this pain, this uncertainty. You may not see it now, but it's there, just beyond the edge of your fear, just beyond the veil of doubt. And you are not just a passive victim in this process. You have the power to break free from the soil. You have the power to rise, to stretch toward the light, to become everything you were always meant to be. You've been told that your struggles define you, that your failures are evidence of your inadequacy, that your mistakes are permanent marks on your soul. But I'm here to tell you something different. Your pain is not your prison, it is your blueprint. Every failure, every hardship, every moment of rejection you've experienced, it's all been a part of the design. It's all been necessary. Without the struggle, you would never know the depth of your strength. Without the pain, you would never know what it feels like to rise again. Each scar you carry, each broken piece of you is not a sign of weakness. It's the map to your greatness. The pieces of your past are the foundation for the power you are about to discover within yourself. So stop looking at your past as a chain that keeps you bound to where you've been. Your past does not control your future. You do. No one else. No one can dictate where you go, how far you rise, unless you give them that power. You are the author of your own story. You hold the pen, and you decide what the next chapter will be. People fear what they don't understand, and for so long they've feared the fire inside you. They feared the truth of who you really are, because it's something they can't control, something they don't know how to deal with. So they've tried to bury it. They've tried to tell you that you're too much, too loud, too different. They've told you that you'll never make it, that you'll never be enough. And you, in your confusion, begin to believe them. But all the while, your fire has been burning quietly, growing stronger, waiting for you to recognize it for what it is. This is the moment you stop hiding. This is the moment you stop letting their fear shape your life. The fear they have of you, of your power, of your potential. That's what has kept you in the shadows. But the time for shadows is over. The time for hiding is over. You are meant for more than this. You were never meant to stay in the dark corners they've tried to trap you in. You were meant to rise, to shine, to step into the light that has always been yours. You are not what they told you. You are not a product of their fear or their misunderstanding. You are more. You are greater than anything they could ever imagine. And now, for the first time, you see it. You see the truth. You are the one who holds the power. You are the one who has always had the strength to rise above. The seed doesn't need permission to grow. It doesn't need validation. It simply grows. It reaches toward the light because it knows it is destined for greatness. And so are you. So let them fear what they don't understand. Let them question. Let them judge. Let them try to make you feel small. Because in the end, their fear will only serve to fuel your fire. It's time to break free. It's time to rise. It's time to embrace the power that has always been inside you. No more hiding, no more shrinking. The world has tried to make you small, but you were never meant to be small. The world has tried to make you small, but you were never meant to be small. You were meant to grow, to thrive, to become everything they never thought you could be. And the time is now. The soil is rich with the lessons you've learned, the failures you've overcome, and the strength you've built. Now, it's your time to break free and reach for the light that's been waiting for you. The world will not recognize you when you rise. And that's the point. Because you are no longer bound by their understanding. You are no longer defined by their fear. You are free. You were never meant to be passive in your own story. You are not a mere character moving along someone else's script. You are the author. And right now, it's time to rewrite the script. You are the one who has the power to change the direction of this story, to change the narrative from one of struggle and doubt to one of strength and victory. Every moment, every choice, every decision from this point on belongs to you. The world doesn't get to decide who you are. They never understood you. Not because you were too much, but because they were too busy trying to control what they could never own. They never understood your potential because they were too afraid of it. But that fear is not yours. The doubt that they placed upon you is not yours. The limitations they tried to impose on you, those have always been lies, constructed to keep you in line, to keep you small. You are not small. You were never meant to fit inside their box. You were meant to break it open, to step outside and to build something far greater than what they could ever imagine. You are meant to be a force of nature. Now, I want you to look at yourself. Not the version of you that they told you to be. Not the person who sat quietly waiting for someone to give permission to rise. Not the version of you that shrank under the weight of the world's expectations. That version of you is dead. You've outgrown that person. You have discarded their limitations, their doubts, and their false promises. You are no longer bound by those chains. You are the version of you that knows your worth. You are the version of you that is no longer waiting for validation. The only validation you need is the one that comes from deep within you. The quiet, steady voice that says, I am worthy. That voice that has been whispering to you, sometimes muffled under the noise of the world, but always present, always certain. That is the voice of your inner strength, and it's time to listen to it. Now, let's talk about resilience, because that is what you are building right now. Name a time you have been resilient. Talk about times that you were not, because that is what you are building right now. Resilience is not just the ability to survive. It's not about getting through the storm. It's about learning how to stand strong in the storm. It's about rising because of the storm, not despite it. Resilience is the muscle you've been strengthening every time you faced adversity, every time you got back up after being knocked down. And here's the truth. Resilience doesn't come from avoiding pain. It doesn't come from being handed an easy path. It comes from the willingness to face your struggles and keep going anyway. And what if, just what if, all the darkness you've endured, all the pain you've carried, it wasn't meant to break you? What if it was never a sentence of failure, but the preparation for something greater? What if every single moment of suffering, every moment you thought you couldn't bear, was the shaping of a strength inside you, the strength you need to rise higher than you've ever imagined? Because that's exactly what it was. It was never about breaking you. It was about building you. Every tear you've shed, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, it was all just preparation for your rise. Now is the time for you to step into that strength. Not the strength that comes from your circumstances, not the strength that's dependent on the world's approval, but the strength that comes from within. The strength that has always been there, waiting for you to realize it. The strength that doesn't shrink from challenges, but faces them head on. The strength that says, I will not let this defeat me. The strength that says, I will rise no matter what. Because that's what you've always been meant for. You are not a passive spectator in this life. You are the hero of your own journey. You are the one who gets to decide how this story ends. And here's the truth. You have been building this resilience all along. It's not a new muscle. It's the one you've been working, sometimes without even realizing it. Every time you got back up after being knocked down, every time you pushed through when it seemed like all was lost, you were building a foundation of strength that cannot be shaken. You are resilient. You are unstoppable. You are powerful. So I want you to stop looking for someone else to tell you your worth. Stop waiting for the world to validate your dreams. You are the validation. Your dreams are worthy because you are worthy, and that's not something anyone can take from you. You are the author, the creator, the one who holds the pen, and it's time to start writing the next chapter with confidence. You will not let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others hold you back. You are unbreakable. The person who was once afraid to step forward, the person who once doubted their own power, that person is gone. You are the person who is willing to face whatever comes. You are the person who knows your own strength, your own worth, and you will no longer let anyone or anything take that from you. It's time to rebuild. It's time to rise. It's time to take what's been broken and turn it into something magnificent. The foundation of who you are is solid, and now you can build upon it. Now you can create the life you were always meant to have. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the world to tell you it's your turn. It's already your turn. Step up, step into your power, and rise. Because you are the hero, and the story you've been waiting to write, it's already in your hands. There comes a moment in the quietest corner of your soul where everything shifts. It's like a fog that has been clouding your vision finally begins to clear. And in that instant, you see yourself for who you truly are. You look into your own eyes, and for the first time, you understand. You were never meant to stay in the shadows. You were never meant to shrink. You were never meant to hide. You were never meant to play small or be anything other than who you truly are. You were meant to blaze a trail of light, your light, a light so bright it would shatter every limitation they tried to impose on you, every boundary they tried to set, every wall they built to keep you in place. You are not broken. Let me say that again. You are not broken. You are not a product of their misunderstanding. You are not a reflection of their fear, their doubt, or their inability to see the power you hold. You are power. You are the storm they never saw coming. And in this moment, as the fog clears and the weight of all those falsehoods lifts from your shoulders, you finally realize the truth has always been there, hidden in plain sight. The weight you've been carrying, it's not yours. It never was. The doubts, the fears, the feelings of inadequacy, the constant second-guessing, none of it was ever yours to carry. It was the weight of their misconceptions, the weight of their limits. But now, you are free. You were never meant to wait for permission. You were never meant to sit quietly, waiting for someone else to give you the go-ahead to step into your greatness. That's a lie that has kept you trapped in a loop of uncertainty and self-doubt. The world doesn't get to decide your worth. Your worth was never up for debate. You were always worthy. You were always powerful. This, right now, is your moment to claim. Look at what you've become. Look at what you've survived. Look at the person you've evolved into. You are not who you were yesterday. You are not who they told you to be. You are not defined by their fear or their inability to see your true self. You are defined by your own choices, your own resilience, and your own power. It's time to step into that power. It's time to stop waiting for the world to give you permission. It's time to stop asking for approval. You've always had the right to rise. You've always had the strength within you. All of the doubts, all of the fear, all of the pain, it's all been there to teach you something, to forge you into the person you are meant to become. And now, that person is standing before you. You are the storm they never saw coming. The truth is that you've always had this power. You've always been capable of greatness. It was never hidden from you. It was never out of reach. All the answers you were searching for, they were always within you. And now, you see it. Now you see yourself. It's time to stop asking for permission to be great. It's time to stop seeking validation from a world that has never understood your potential. The permission you've been waiting for, it's been yours all along. It's been waiting for you to step up, to own your power, to stop hiding from what you were meant to become. Because this is your moment. This is the moment where everything changes. The weight of the past is gone. The chains that bound you are shattered. The future is yours to claim. And the only thing standing between you and your destiny is the decision to rise. You weren't meant to stay in the shadows. You were meant to rise. You were meant to blaze a trail for others to follow. You were meant to stand tall, unwavering, and unafraid. You are power. Now, take a deep breath and take that first step. The world won't be the same after you do, because you're not the same anymore. You've claimed your moment, and nothing can stop you now. You've come a long way, haven't you? From the deep, suffocating darkness to this moment, where you stand on the precipice of everything you've ever dreamed of becoming. You are no longer who you were. The person who struggled with doubt, the one who questioned every step, every choice, that version of you is gone. In its place stands someone unstoppable, someone who has finally realized that they were always destined for greatness. The journey you've walked to get here, the pain, the confusion, the battles, those were never meant to break you. They were meant to carve you, to shape you, to forge the person you are becoming now. And that person is unshakable. You have broken through every limitation they tried to place on you. Every lie they whispered about your worth, every doubt they tried to instill, every fear they tried to paralyze you with. It has all been burned away by the fire of your resilience. You were once shackled by fear, but now you are the key holder to your future. No longer are you trapped in a cage of uncertainty and doubt. You hold the power to unlock every door, to break through every barrier. The chains that once bound you are nothing more than ashes in the wind. You are the one who decides your destiny. You are the one who gets to choose the next chapter, and the world will follow your lead. Can you see it now? Can you picture the future that's waiting for you? The version of you who stands confident, fearless, and thriving, the one who knows without question that nothing can stop them. You are the person who walks into any room, and the energy shifts. People notice you, not because you demand attention, but because you radiate power. They can't help but be drawn to your light. They can't help but feel your presence, because you have become untouchable by the forces that once sought to dim you. This is what you've been working toward. This is the person you were always meant to become. Not a version of you that seeks validation from others, not a version of you that shrinks in the face of adversity, but the version of you who rises. You are the one who walks through fire and emerges unscathed. You are the one who stands tall when everyone else falters. You are unstoppable, and I want you to take a moment to really feel that. Let it sink in. You are not just capable, you are unstoppable. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to be like everyone else. The world tried to keep you small, to keep you hidden in the shadows, but now you are the light. And that light, it will blind them. The very forces that tried to hold you back, they won't know what hit them when you step into your full power. They won't know how to react when you rise higher than they ever imagined. You are the storm they didn't see coming, and they can't stop you now. Think about everything you've overcome. Think about all the ways you've been tested. The pain, the rejection, the times you were misunderstood, all of it was a test. And you passed. You made it through. You stood up every time they tried to knock you down. And now, you stand as a testament to your own strength, your own resilience. You have become the person who not only survives, but thrives. You are living proof that the greatest transformations come from the hardest trials. You are more than what you've been told you are. You are more than the doubts that once held you back. You are more than the failures that tried to define you. You are more than the limitations they tried to impose on you. You are everything you've ever dreamed of becoming, and more. Now, let's think about that future, the one you've been waiting for. Can you see it? Can you picture yourself in that place where every door opens before you, where you move with ease, with confidence, with the full knowing that this is your moment? That's who you're becoming. The person who moves through life with an unshakable belief in their worth, their purpose, and their power. The forces of misunderstanding, the people who tried to keep you in the shadows, they have no power over you anymore. You are the light now, and they'll either follow your lead or be left behind in the dark, but you won't be waiting for them. You won't be waiting for anyone. This is your time. This is your moment to shine, to rise, to take your place in a world that's been waiting for someone like you. You've been through the fire and you've come out stronger than ever. You are unstoppable. Nothing can stand in your way now, not the voices of doubt, not the opinions of others, nothing. Now, look at your future. See the person you're becoming. That's the version of you that will walk this earth with strength, with confidence, and with the knowledge that you are untouchable. The world will try to label you, to categorize you, to put you in boxes that they think they can control, but no label will ever define you. No box will ever contain you. You are limitless. You are not just capable of achieving greatness, you are born to achieve it. You are destined for it, and nothing at all will stand in your way. You are no longer the person they tried to make you. You are the person you were always meant to be. You are unstoppable, and the world will feel your power, your presence, your light, and they will never be the same again. So now I ask you, are you ready to step fully into your power, to claim the life that is rightfully yours? Because nothing is stopping you now. Nothing. This is it, right here, right now. The moment where everything shifts from possibility to reality. This is the line between waiting and doing. This is the point of no return. You've spent far too long sitting in the shadows of your potential, waiting for someone, anyone, to give you permission to rise, to step into your full power. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for someone to see what you can do. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. The world doesn't deserve your hesitation. You deserve your own action. The time is now. This is the moment to make the change irreversible. You've felt it stir within you, the fire that's been smoldering beneath the surface, and now it's time to light it. Don't wait another second for someone else's approval. You were never meant to wait. You've been given everything you need. Your power, your wisdom, your strength. They've been with you all along, waiting for you to claim them. But you can't keep waiting. You must act. You must step forward and seize this moment for yourself. There is no more time to wonder. Wondering is for the past. You are no longer uncertain. You are no longer questioning your worth, your power, your ability. You are ready. But how do you make the leap? How do you move from this place of internal awakening to action? First, trust yourself. Your instincts have been honed through everything you've been through. All of your failures, all of your struggles, they've been teaching you the way. You know what feels right for you. You know the next step. Stop doubting yourself. Stop second-guessing your every move. Trust that inner voice. Second, make the commitment. Make the commitment to yourself, to your growth, to your future. This is not just a fleeting moment of inspiration. It's a decision that you will no longer accept anything less than the full expression of who you are. This is your declaration to the world, and more importantly to yourself. I will no longer play small. I will no longer shrink. I will no longer wait for permission. Third, act boldly. It doesn't matter if the world doesn't understand. It doesn't matter if people look at you and wonder why you're stepping into your greatness. You step anyway. Boldness is your weapon. Fear has no power over you anymore. You are not bound by it. You are not controlled by it. Every time you make a move toward your greatness, fear will shrink a little more. Your boldness will burn it away like the darkness it is. Fourth, keep moving. Momentum is the secret to unstoppable power. Don't allow any setback, any doubt, or any resistance to stop you. You've come too far, you've survived too much, and now you are just getting started. Keep going, no matter what. Trust that every step forward builds on the last, and soon the things that once terrified you will feel like stepping stones to your true power. Fifth, surround yourself with those who understand your journey. You don't need people who will try to control your destiny. You need people who will see you for who you truly are. Find those who will remind you of your power, who will encourage you when you feel like you're losing your way. But more importantly, be the person who sees that power in others. Support others in their journey to greatness, and in return, you'll receive the strength you need to continue on your own path. It's time. No more hesitation, no more waiting for the perfect moment. That moment is here, the moment to choose yourself, the moment to embrace your power. You've held this moment in your hands for so long, and now it's time to claim it. I don't care what they've told you. I don't care what they've tried to make you believe. You were never broken. You were never theirs to control. You were simply waiting to break free. And now that waiting is over. You are free. Free to be who you are meant to be. Free to take action, to own your story, to write the next chapter with your own hands. Free to stop asking for permission and start demanding your future. This is your call to arms. This is your moment of transformation. Step into your power. Claim what is rightfully yours. You are unstoppable, and this is just the beginning. There is no turning back. There is only forward, and what lies ahead is yours for the taking. Now go and make the world feel your power.